What's up, everybody? Welcome to Gaming on Board. My name is Josh. Tonight we're going to take a look at what I consider to be a gateway game, and I'm talking about Ethnos. So this is a cool little set collection game with a little bit of area control, well, a lot of area control. But anyways, I would compare this to Ticket to Ride with a little bit more complexity, and I really like the theme much better than Ticket to Ride personally. We picked this up at Playthrough Con last year, or the most recent Playthrough Con, so actually it was this year. This was filmed in December 2018. I think Playthrough Con was in March, so it just feels like last year. We got it for $20 as one of the blind boxes at one of the vendors that had games wrapped up in brown paper bag, so it was a surprise. So let's get it on the table. I'll show you a quick overview of how to play Ethnos and what it's all about. Let's go check it out. Alright, so I'm having to do this as a voiceover because the recording didn't record my voice. So just a heads up. Today we're going to take a look at Ethnos. This is for 2 to 6 players, 14 and up, 45 to 60 minutes. It's by CMON Games. Nice artwork. The theme is it's pretty much generic fantasy. So really nice artwork. So in this game you have a number of different races, and it's got a nice instruction book there. So you have a number of different races. Have them laid out here on the board, and at the beginning of the game you'll take this deck of all the different races, and we have elves, merfolk, giants, halflings, wizards, centaurs, dwarfs, wingfolk, trolls, minotaurs, skeletons, and orcs. So you'll shuffle these up and you'll draw 6 different races to start the game, and those will be the only 6 races used in the game. So we got 6 races here. So we got the wizards, the centaurs, a couple others. And you'll go through and you'll find the deck that corresponds to each of these races, and they'll all have their own special abilities. But I'm just going to go ahead and grab what we have out here. So there's 2 of each color in each deck, with the exception of the skeletons and the halflings. So you know what's available based on what races are in the game. So like I said, the halflings here have a lot more than just 2 of each color, but they have no ability. They don't help you gain presence on the board or anything like that. It's just for having larger sets, because part of this game is set collection. So you'll put all these 6 different races together, and you'll split the deck in half. And there are 3 dragon cards. These are basically like a timer for the game. And you'll take these 3 dragon cards and you'll shuffle these into the half of the deck, and then that will be the bottom portion of the whole deck. So like I said, you'll split the deck in half and then shuffle those dragons into the bottom half, and once the 3rd dragon comes out, that triggers the end of that age or that round. So that's how you prepare the deck. And then you'll deal out 1 card to each player, and then you'll flip cards over face up to create a market equal to twice the number of players. So in a 3-player game, there will be 6 cards starting out in this market. So those are available for anyone to draw during their turn. And like I said, each player gets 1 card each as well. Then you'll take all of these tokens. Some of them will have a 4+ symbol like this on the token. And so you'll shuffle these up, randomize them, and you're supposed to put them on here face down, but I'm just going to throw them on here like this. So yeah, you'll put them on there randomly, and then what you're supposed to do is flip them face up and order them lowest to highest. So, and in a 3-player game, there's only going to be 2 ages and not 3. That's why I ran out of pieces here and had to start pulling the rest of them. But you'll take all those 4+ out, which will leave you enough to fill up 2 ages in each area. So once you have them all out, it will look something like this. And like I said, you'll have to order them lowest to highest in each area. And this basically tells you how many points whoever controls that area will get in each round. So, like I said, this is area control. So if you have the most presents, the most pieces in that area, you'll get whatever point values listed. And if there's ties, you'll split those up. So this is what it looks like all set up for a 3-player game. And I'll just show you, go ahead here and show you. My starting card is a red centaur. And now I can either draw one from the market up there, or I can draw one from the top of the deck, or I can play a card. So those are your options on your turn. You can either draw from the deck, draw from the market, or play a card. So go ahead and draw from the deck. Oh, what do you know, a centaur? Because I didn't shuffle them. All right, and let's just say this player takes that player takes that. Those do not get refreshed in the market, and I'll show you why here in a little bit. So I've got these 2 centaurs, and it says if you place a marker on the board, you may play another band. Because remember, you can only draw a card or play a set during your turn. So the centaur has a really good ability to let you play an additional set on your turn. So what you can do is you can either play a set of the same color and the race doesn't matter, or you can play a set that is the same race and the color doesn't matter. So if I had all centaurs, this is a 4 centaur band, and since they're the same race, the color doesn't matter. It just matters who's on top of the band. Since it's red, red is where the token would go. If it was green, green is where the token would go. So whoever is on top, you activate their special ability, and that's where you'll place the token on the map. So since I have the centaurs, I can play a 2-band red and place a token in the red area. The thing is, to place a token on the board, you have to play more cards in the band than the number of tokens you have in that area. So I can just play 1 red card, since I have 0 tokens in the red area. Play 1 red card, and then I'll be place a token right here in the red area. And this is what the tokens look like when you're, depending on what color you get. I think there's 6 different colors, so those are pretty nice. They stack together real easily. So since I played a 1-band centaur, everybody will put one of their markers on the 0 spot as well. So I played a 1, I have 0 there, 1's more than 0, so I get to place a token. Since the leader was the centaur, I get to activate a special ability, which is I get to play another band. So I can play a 2-band, a 2-card band with a red centaur leader. 2 is more than the 1 token I already have there, so I get to place another token. And since it's a centaur and it's the leader, I get to activate the special ability again. So I get to play another band. I'll play a single gray band. Since I have no tokens in the gray area, I get to place a token there. And so that's a really good deal with the centaurs. They let you string bands together like that. So, but if I wanted, I could have done that differently. I could have done 1 here, 2 there. That's just how I chose to do it. So let's just say I played 1 centaur to put 1 down, and then the 2 to put the second one down. And then let's just say I had 3 cards in my hand. There's nothing I could do with them. So after I played those 2 bands, I'd have to discard all the cards in my hand to that market. So any cards you're not able to play or can't keep with some special ability go back to the market. So you're making those available to the other players. So you need to think about that. You might be helping the other players out, but sometimes you just don't have a choice. So when that 3rd dragon comes out, you'll look and see who controls all these different areas. And if it's the first round, you'll look at this first round token, and whoever has the most there would gain 2 points. So in this case, green would get 2 points. Whoever had the most here would get 2, 4, 8, nothing on orange, 2 in purple. And then at the end of the second round, you would look at, well, of course, you would reshuffle all the cards together, put the dragon in the bottom half of the deck again, and you're ready to go for the second round. And at the end of the second, you would get that points. You see how many who controls how many areas. But also, at the end of both the first and the second round, you look and see how many bands you have. So these also score you a lot of points. So if you have a band of 1 card, it's worth 0 points. 2's worth 2, 3's worth 3, 4's worth 6, 5's worth 10, and 6 is worth, I think, 15 points. So if you have those large bands, that makes a big difference as well when it comes to scoring. So, you know, you're not going to get a ton of points from the area control, but you could potentially get way more points from having large bands. And that's where, you know, the halflings come in. So also there's additional components that come with these different races. For example, the orcs have their own little scoring board. Whenever you put a token out using an orc as the leader, you get to put a token on that region's color on this orc board, and then you gain more and more points depending on how many times you placed a token using an orc as the leader. So there's potential for a lot more points there, and that's scored at the end of the game. For the trolls, you have these tokens where you can, if you put a band out of trolls, then you get to take the matching number. So if you put a band of 3 trolls out, you'll take the 3, and whoever has the highest there will score a certain number of points. Then the giant, whenever you play the largest band with the giant as the leader, you get to take this giant token, you score points. Then you got the merfolk. Every time you play a band with a merfolk leader, you get to move along this track, and when you hit these spots, you get to put a token out anywhere on the map for free. And then at the end of the second round, you score these points for who's furthest along on the track. So that's really cool. It's got a lot of replayability, a lot of different, races and components, and really changes the game up every time you play. It's really fun, pretty simple to learn, but like I said, a little more depth than Ticket to Ride. Some really cool set collection. Just go through and show you all the races real quick. So, like I said, the halflings, they have no ability, but there's way more than which lets you get those really large bands and score more points from having large bands. Then you got the elf. You may keep up to X cards in your hand. X is always equal to the size of the band. So this lets you keep cards and you're not dropping them in the market to help the other players out. So that's really cool. So if I had 4 cards left in my hand and I played a 4-band elf, I get to keep all 4 of those cards. So the giant, like I said, if you play the biggest band with a giant leader, you take the giant token and you score 2 points immediately, and then you score those points at the end of the rounds. So that's cool. Next, the wizard, draw X cards from the deck. So when you play a 5-band or 3-band of wizards, you get to draw that many cards. The merfolk, like I said, whenever you play a merfolk band with a merfolk as the leader, you get to move on that merfolk track, get some more points, put some tokens out. So that's one of my favorite. Centaurs, you've already seen. You get to play in an extra band, so that's always good. The trolls, you get to take an unclaimed troll token worth up to the number of trolls in the band. Whoever has the most at the end gets points. Wingfolk, if the wingfolk is the leader, you get to place your token anywhere on the board. It doesn't have to be in the spot that matches the color of the wingfolk. So that's really powerful to be able to just place it anywhere you want. The orcs, anytime you place a marker matching the space of the orc board, you get to put your little piece here. That'll score you points later. The dwarf's really good. So this band counts as X+1 for end of age scoring. So if it was a band of 4 and you had a dwarf leader, it'd actually be worth 5. So big point difference there. It's really good. Let's see, is that all of them? Minotaurs, yeah, this band counts as X+1 for placing a marker. So if you needed 5 to play in gray and you only had 4 cards, but if the Minotaur was the leader, that would actually count as a 5. So you'd be able to place that marker there. So that's really good too. I believe, oh, the skeletons. So the skeletons have no ability. They cannot be the leader. They're literally just there to help you place tokens. So they just increase the size of the band for the purpose of placing tokens. But at the end of the age, before you score your bands, you have to discard all skeletons. So it's not like you can just play a band with 6 skeletons and whatever leader you want. It won't score you any points at the end. They have to be trashed. And let's see. I believe that's it. Yeah, there's some, I think there's some expansions. I'm not really positive, but I know that there are some additional races like the fairies if you can lucky enough to find them. But anyway, that is Ethnos by CMON Games. Really like this one. Hope you enjoyed this video. Be sure to check out Gaming on Board on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Also, be sure to hit that like and subscribe button. And as always, thank you for watching, and play all the games.